Welcome back to the Dr. Brooke Scheller Show. I'm Dr. Brooke Scheller. I'm a doctor of clinical nutrition. I'm the author of How to Eat to Change How You Drink, and I have been deep in the research for the last 5 years, diving deep into this topic, and I can't wait to get into it with you today. So let's do it. So today we're diving into a topic that is much more connected than you might realize. It's the relationship between your gut health, your brain, and your alcohol consumption. I see so many people struggling with mood, anxiety, digestive issues, and often these three elements are playing a significant and hidden role. So let's get down into the science and, more importantly, give you some actionable steps that you can take with you today. You might be wondering why I cover the topic of alcohol so frequently. It's because I see this as one of the most overlooked things sabotaging our health. And after going alcohol-free myself in 2021, I became a huge proponent of highlighting the harms of alcohol on the entire body, including the gut. So that's also why I cover this topic in greater detail in my book, which is linked in the show notes. So let's start by talking about the gut-brain axis. Many of you may have heard of the gut being referred to as the quote second brain. That is because the connection between your gut and brain is bi-directional. Your brain influences your gut health, and your gut health profoundly influences your mood and your stress response. And part of the reason it's called the second brain is because the majority of the communication between the two organs actually goes from the gut and to the brain, not the other way around like we might think. There are three main ways that this communication happens. First is via the vagus nerve, and this is one of our cranial nerves that runs from the brain through our chest and to the stomach and intestines, carrying signals immediately between the two. Secondly is neurotransmitters. We've all heard of that feel-good neurotransmitter serotonin, right? Well, 90% of your body's serotonin is produced and stored in the gut. And these chemical messengers transmit signals between the gut and brain, sending signals that are either positive or negative. And number three is short-chain fatty acids. These are beneficial molecules produced when your healthy gut microbes, aka your probiotics, ferment fibers. Short-chain fatty acids like butyrate cross the blood-brain barrier and help to reduce inflammation, which is key for a calm nervous system. When your gut microbiome is balanced, it sends positive anti-inflammatory signals to your brain, contributing to a calm and stable mood. But when our gut is imbalanced, what we often refer to as dysbiosis, this sends inflammatory signals that can contribute to anxiety and contribute to mood disturbances. Now, let's introduce alcohol to the equation. When we consume alcohol, especially regularly or in excess, it directly impacts this delicate environment in a couple of major ways. It doesn't just get absorbed and metabolized. It doesn't just give us a hangover. It has a direct impact on our gut environment. So first, I want to talk about how alcohol significantly influences the gut microbiome. Studies show that even moderate regular drinking can lead to a decrease in our beneficial probiotic bacteria like lactobacillus or bifidobacterium, and can cause an increase in harmful pro-inflammatory species of bacteria. This is that dysbiosis that we're talking about. This shift often worsens dysbiosis, affects our nutrient absorption, it weakens our immune system, and it lowers the production of the crucial gut-produced neurotransmitters that we just discussed. And these changes in probiotics may even contribute to cravings for alcohol, carbs, and sugar. But you might be saying, so why does this matter for my mood? Well, fewer beneficial bacteria means less production of the calming short-chain fatty acids, the calming and happiness neurotransmitters like serotonin, and it causes and contributes to the underlying feeling of anxiety that many people report after drinking, known, you know it, I know it, anxiety. That's why it's all a little bit silly, because the very thing that we use to relax ultimately may be making our nervous system more sensitive, more reactive, and making us feel worse. We're turning to alcohol for stress, and it's actually worsening those feelings of stress and anxiety. Secondly, I want to point out that alcohol is a toxin, and when it's metabolized in the body, it breaks down to another toxin called acetaldehyde. And both alcohol and the acetaldehyde can damage the delicate lining of our gastrointestinal tract, leading to increased intestinal permeability, or what we often refer to as leaky gut. This means that different toxins, undigested food particles, bacteria can all pass from the gut into the bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation and an immune response. This is a situation that has contributed to things like autoimmunity or the development of food sensitivities later in life. But it's not all bad. The good news is that we have the power to restore our gut-brain axis through targeted nutrition tools. And as a doctor of nutrition, my focus is always on rebuilding and rebalancing, especially when it comes to the gut. So let's talk about my 3 pillars for repairing the gut-brain axis after alcohol exposure. Pillar 1 is all about rebalancing the flora. It's all about bringing in more of those healthy, beneficial probiotic microbes. And we do this through a 2-pronged approach: probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics are our healthy gut bacteria. These can be found in fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, pickled vegetables, but are often also taken in supplemental form. Now, you want to look for a multi-strain, broad-strain probiotic that has several different types of probiotics in it. That helps to give us more diversity within the gut microbiome. And you can also incorporate some of these foods in as well. I have a few of my favorite probiotics for mood linked in the show notes below. And when it comes to probiotics, we can't forget about the prebiotics. Prebiotics are essentially the food for the probiotics. And these are found in some of our non-digestible fiber foods like asparagus, artichokes, garlic, onion, and unripe bananas specifically. So pillar 2 is all about repairing the gut lining, repairing that intestinal wall, and we do that using specific nutrients. The most essential is an amino acid called L-glutamine, and it is the primary resource of fuel for the cells of our gut. And it's really critical for restoring these tight junctions that kind of bring the lining back together. So you can supplement with L-glutamine, 500 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams a day. I actually love to use L-glutamine because it has been really, really helpful with cravings, not only for alcohol, but for sugar. And I do this by taking a 500 milligram capsule, open it on my tongue, under my tongue, and let it dissolve. And that can be really beneficial for kicking cravings. This really helped me early on my journey, and I've also used it with a lot of my clients successfully as well. But beyond supplementation for healing the gut, we can also bring in more fiber. I know fiber isn't as sexy as protein is these days, but it will help improve your digestion, especially if you're constipated, and it's going to help promote that healthy microbiome. Adding foods like bone broth can also be helpful for healing the gut lining since it's rich in collagen and amino acids, but also adding in more soothing foods like cooked veggies and healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, olives, nuts, and seeds. Also, when it comes to the gut, it's really important to reduce processed foods, reduce added sugars, because these feed the more harmful bacteria in the gut that can worsen the symptoms of dysbiosis. And pillar number 3 is all about supporting the nervous system. And while we're healing the gut, we can also directly support the nervous system using nutrition. There are 2 really important minerals that I like to focus on here, both of which are depleted by alcohol. These are magnesium and zinc. And magnesium is essential for calming our nervous system. It also helps to promote GABA, which is our body's relaxing neurotransmitter. And taking a supplement like magnesium glycinate before bed can be incredibly helpful for supporting sleep and mood. And zinc is really important for neurotransmitter production. It's also essential for healing that gut lining. Ultimately, understanding the gut-brain alcohol connection gives you a ton of power to heal and support your body. When you prioritize your gut health, you are stabilizing your nervous system and enhancing your mood resilience. You're also protecting yourself moving forward, and you're healing some of that ongoing damage. So even if you have a heavy history of alcohol use in the past, don't you worry, it is easy to turn it all around. If you found this information valuable, please hit the like and subscribe button. Subscribe to the show for more insights to support your alcohol-free health, wellness, nutrition journey. And don't forget your action step this week. Just pick one thing. Maybe it's a new supplement we discussed, like a probiotic or magnesium, or consciously add a prebiotic fiber food to your dinner, like asparagus. See what a difference it makes, and let me know in the comments which you're going to try. All right, I'll see you in the next episode.